Imagine nearly everything you touch, from the smartphone in your hand to the clothes on your back, was once assembled in one country. A nation that rose from the shadows of economic hardship to dominate global manufacturing. That country is China. But how did this happen? How did China become the world's factory? Let's take a journey back in time to uncover the forces that transformed China into the manufacturing powerhouse it is today. In the 1970s, China was an agrarian economy, far removed from the industrial giants of the world. But in 1978, a monumental shift occurred when Deng Xiaoping introduced a series of economic reforms. These reforms would open China's doors to foreign investment, allowing Western companies to take advantage of China's abundant, low-cost labor. This was the foundation of China's ascent. Factories sprouted in special economic zones like Shenzhen, where labor costs were a fraction of what they were in Europe or North America. The appeal for international companies was undeniable. Manufacture at a lower cost and reap higher profits. It was a win-win, and China capitalized on it. But low wages weren't the only reason China became so attractive to manufacturers. China had something else that was invaluable: an enormous, disciplined, and efficient workforce. Millions of workers were ready to flood into the cities, leaving behind rural farming jobs for the promise of steady factory work. China's labor force quickly became one of its greatest strengths. The ability to scale up production at an unprecedented rate gave it an edge over any competitor. Other countries couldn't match China's combination of cost efficiency and production capacity. As international companies shifted their operations to China, the country's manufacturing machine kept growing. This transformation wasn't left to chance. The Chinese government played a key role, offering generous incentives to foreign investors. Tax breaks, land concessions, and infrastructure support were part of China's master plan to attract multinational corporations. China's special economic zones were pivotal in this strategy. These areas were designed to foster international trade, offering a low-regulation environment for businesses to thrive. Companies that invested in these zones gained easy access to modern infrastructure and ports, allowing them to ship products worldwide with remarkable efficiency. As the world entered the era of globalization, China seized the moment. By joining the World Trade Organization, WTO, in 2001, China opened itself further to global trade, accelerating its integration into the world economy. This move gave Chinese-made goods unprecedented access to international markets, and in return, multinational corporations found an ideal partner in China to produce goods at lower costs. Over the next 2 decades, trade between China and the rest of the world exploded. China became the go-to destination for manufacturing everything from electronics to textiles, toys, and even automobiles. The Made in China label became synonymous with mass production at scale. But it wasn't just about cheap labor. As China's manufacturing sector matured, it invested heavily in technology and innovation. Automation and robotics began playing a bigger role in factories, boosting efficiency and reducing the need for manual labor. With government-backed incentives for technological upgrades, China shifted from simply being a low-cost producer to becoming a tech-savvy manufacturing powerhouse. Local firms like Foxconn, which produced electronics for global brands like Apple, used cutting-edge technology to revolutionize production lines. The ability to manufacture at both massive scale and high precision solidified China's position as the world's factory. China's dominance didn't happen in isolation. The country mastered global supply chains. It became not just a hub for assembly, but also for sourcing raw materials, components, and skilled labor. Over time, this vertical integration meant that manufacturers could get everything they needed, whether it was steel, electronics, or textiles, within China's borders. This made China unbeatable in terms of speed and efficiency. Companies didn't need to look elsewhere for parts or materials, and that convenience made it difficult for other nations to compete. However, China's rise as a manufacturing hub has not come without consequences. The massive scale of industrialization has had environmental impacts: air pollution, water contamination, and deforestation have all been part of the price paid for rapid economic growth. Labor conditions in the early stages were also a subject of criticism, with reports of long working hours and harsh environments in some factories. Yet, over time, as China's economy matured, the government began addressing these issues. Today, China is investing heavily in clean energy and working toward greener manufacturing processes, balancing economic growth with sustainability. Now, as we look at China's role in global manufacturing today, it's clear that its dominance is still unrivaled. But the landscape is changing. Rising labor costs and geopolitical tensions are prompting companies to diversify production locations. China is adapting to this by focusing on more advanced manufacturing, investing in AI, and expanding its influence into high-tech industries like electric vehicles and semiconductors. China's future as the world's factory is evolving, but its foundational role in global production remains secure. As it continues to innovate and redefine its manufacturing strategies, China is likely to remain a central player in the global economy for decades to come. If you found this journey into China's rise as the world's factory insightful, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We dive deep into the forces shaping the global economy, geopolitics, and technology trends. Hit the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest videos. See you in the next one.